Wow. So here we are, the end of 2022, and there have been a lot of great products that, I loved reviewing, right? We've got VR headsets, we've got mini projectors, phones, watches, earbuds, like a lot of great stuff came out this year. But one category of products that I haven't really talked about, but a product category that I'm definitely really interested in is health tech. So essentially, to explain this, we're coming up on a new year. Maybe for January, you have a New Year's resolution. Maybe you want to take your health a little more seriously. Maybe you have some goals to lose weight or feel more energized, or maybe just drink less caffeine. Whatever it is, I've been testing dozens of tech products, as I always do, and these are ones in this video that I think could drastically improve the quality of your life. Now, maybe not all of these, all 10 of these, but at least some of them in this video you probably don't already have. I tried to pick some really unique ones, and these should have some nice incremental improvements that you should notice on a day-to-day basis. Now, when most people think of getting healthier, they think of dieting and working out, but that's only a small portion of this video. The tech in this video really does help me to get better sleep every night, feel more energized in the day, not drink any caffeine. I actually gave up caffeine altogether. This tech also helps you to avoid injuries and track and measure your goals and things like that. So these are the top 10 health tech products I recommend for 2023. I broke these into 3 different categories. The first one are just daily, everyday things. The second one is for sleep, and the third one is for working out and otherwise changing the shape of your body. Starting off number 1 with daily, hear me out. The first 2 might sound a little bit strange, but if you work at a desk all day, for me personally, this has made a pretty sizable difference. The first one is actually an air quality monitor. Sounds weird, I know, but being able to track multiple different metrics really does help, and there's one in particular that I think most people really don't even think about, and that is carbon dioxide, CO2. Not carbon monoxide, you probably already have a detector for that. CO2 instead is just when you're in a room that's small and it's closed off, you don't have a lot of ventilation, the room, like eventually you're going to have higher CO2 levels, and that's going to lead to more groggy, like brain fog. You're not going to be as focused. It's really subtle, but if you have more people in a room, or if you have maybe like a gas stove in your house, any of those 3 things could really drive up your CO2 levels. And like I said, just by seeing what the number is, you can realize you should open a window, get some fresh air in the house, and that's going to substantially improve your focus, your energy, and your cognitive ability. Those 3, like, look up, there's a lot of research. People way smarter than I have been talking about this for a while. Going on to number 2, this ties in with number 1 a lot. This is actually an air purifier. So if you have allergies, or if you live in a place that has maybe a fireplace, there's a lot of smoke, or if just in a polluted region in general, an air purifier could be a great way to clean up your air and help you feel better as well. Moving on to number 3, if you didn't really agree with the first 2, the third one really is pretty undeniable in my opinion. This is a sit-stand desk. So if you're working at a desk all day and you're sitting all day, that is not good for you. You can ask any doctor out there and they'll tell you that a standing desk is great. Being able to sit and stand and kind of switch between them throughout the day not only prevents things like anterior pelvic tilt and like weird muscle and back problems, but it also gives you more energy just by, if I get tired, I stand up at my desk, you're gonna wake up because you're standing. You're not gonna like fall back, you sit back and fall asleep. So a standing desk, there's so many different ones out there. I'll have links below to some good ones. For me personally, I built my own desk. It's a lot cheaper to do. You can build it perfectly to your height and just make a higher chair with that. I made a video about that if you guys want to see that. But moving on to number 4 on this list, this is a smart scale. If you're tracking your weight, you're trying to gain muscle or cut fat, whatever it is, having a scale that is digital and smart really goes a long way. These are really common. I just have a Renpho one. This is like the cheapest, decent one on Amazon. Moving on to the next category, this is sleep, and there are 4 in this category. One of them is for actually sleeping, 2 are related to circadian rhythm, and the 4th one is related to sound. Starting off, the first one here is actually the sponsor of today's video. Okay, so the 8 Sleep Pod 3, there's really 3 main things that this can do. Of course, it's comfortable to sleep on, but the 3 main things it can do, first of all, control temperature. Second of all, track your sleep, and third of all, has a vibrating alarm on the inside. But this is also divided on 2 different halves, for example, on a king bed, so that you can have temperatures on one side, your partner can be completely different. So I like to be a little bit cooler when I fall asleep, so right around 10 o'clock every night, it cools down, getting ready for me to go to bed, and then once I go to bed, it detects when I fall asleep, and it changes the temperature throughout the night based on what stage of my sleep I'm actually in. And then what I really like here is that in the morning, it'll jack the temperature up. Warmer temperatures, for me, help me wake up and really get me out of bed, so I feel a lot more energized in the morning. Now, that could be completely different. Like my wife, for example, prefers to have a much warmer bed, especially in the winter months, to climb into. So while my half is cooling down, Hers is warming up. When we both go to bed, completely different temperatures for two different halves of the bed. We can also have our own independent alarms. Remember I said the second thing this does is it does have a vibrating alarm in here. Now in the app, I mean, you know me, I love numbers, huge numbers guy. And so in the app, you can see your heart rate variability, how much you tossed and turned, your sleep stages, and of course, you can see your breathing rate as well. So that is a lot of information, a lot of data. If you want to see me make a full video and actually dive into the accuracy and compare that, I can definitely do that in the future. And I should mention this right here is the 8 Sleep Pod 3. There are two different ways you can get this technology in your bedroom though. So I have the full 5-layer mattress. This is a king size and the mattress cover goes on and just zips right on very easily. But if you already have a mattress and you really like your mattress, then you could just buy the mattress cover and it'll go on, strap onto the bottom, and you can essentially retrofit your mattress with the 8 Sleep technology. So thanks again to 8 Sleep for sponsoring this video. If you are interested in getting yourself an 8 Sleep Pod 3 or the mattress cover, go on down. I have a link in the top of the description. Also, I'll show it on screen right here. Go and check them out. Thanks again for sponsoring the video and for sending over a Pod 3. Now, the next two in the category of sleep are related to your circadian rhythm. In other words, your internal clock. And if you think about forever ago, way before we had modern civilization, people would wake up when it got bright out from the sun and go to sleep when it got dark. And now that we have lights all over, street lights and phones and things like that, we can kind of mess you up a little bit. And so I like to really focus on waking up and having light when I wake up and having darkness when I sleep. And one of the best ways to do that is to have an automated shade. There are a lot of different ways to do this, but by far the best one, the quietest, the most reliable one for at least in my opinion, is the Lutron Serena shade. So this one is an automated roller shade. It's connected to an app. It knows when the sunrise is, and about 10 minutes before sunrise every day, it opens up so I can wake up to natural sunlight. But during the night, when I'm asleep, it's completely dark. It's a blackout curtain, and it does a really, really good job. The second one here is for maybe this time of year when it doesn't get light until like 8 o'clock in the morning or 7:30. And this is actually a Hue sign lamp. So Hue has a gradient sign lamp, which is like this tall glass lamp. It looks really cool, and you can do a lot with this. If you're having like a party, you can have some crazy colors on there, or what I like to use it for is to kind of simulate a sunrise whenever I want to wake up. So like I said, I actually don't use an alarm clock and I don't drink caffeine. The way I wake up is from my 8 Sleep Pod warming up in the morning and then from these lamps turning on. So they're simulating a sunrise where they start off kind of a dim blue and they fade up to like a warm yellow and then a brighter white as well. So it really does feel a lot more like a natural sunrise. And in a dark room, when your shades are closed, it really, it's very convincing. And so for me, that helps a lot to get me out of bed in the morning. And then in the evening, I have it turned on to a nice, warm, dim color. So when I go into my bedroom, it's not like bright white lights or anything harsh. And so I can get ready for bed and again, follow that circadian rhythm. Oh, and I should probably also mention, these can synchronize with your TV or your projector and really dial up your home theater to the next level, which is pretty sick. Now, the last one in the category of sleep is related to the sound. Obviously, not everybody lives in a quiet place. I used to live next to literally the loudest train in the Philadelphia area. It was like a freight train went by pretty much every hour between midnight and 4 a.m. And so sleeping was an absolute nightmare. It was terrible. So what I used were actually Bose Sleep Buds. Now they're really tiny earbuds that, unlike AirPods and other larger earbuds, you can lay on your side and you don't even realize that they're in your ear. They have such a low profile, but they don't actually play anything from your phone. They have kind of like a locally stored music file, not music. They have different white noises and pink noises. So it could be rain, it could be like a static fuzzy sound. There's a bunch of different options you can load onto the buds. And then sleeping with them, not only do they act as earplugs that block out sound around you, but of course they also are able to play that sound to kind of mask anything else. And so if you live in a loud environment, it really does make a big difference. It makes sleeping much more possible. Now the final category in here is actually for workouts. I'm not gonna go and tell you to buy like a Peloton or some kind of dumbbells that automatically change the weight. For workouts, I'm actually a fan of just natural body weight workouts or free weights. No expensive mirrors, no stationary fancy bikes, just free weights and body weight stuff. It really does work well for me, but that doesn't mean you can't have tech associated with your workouts. So I highly recommend anyone gets a smartwatch. It's a great way to track your heart rate, especially if you're doing cardio. And so if you have an iPhone, an Apple Watch SE, the second generation, is a great way to get into the Apple Watches without spending a ton of money, because you probably don't need an Apple Watch Series 7 or 8. And if you have an Android phone, you could either get the Galaxy Watch, or what I really like is actually the Garmin Venue 2 Plus. which tracks your heart rate really well, tracks GPS well. It really focuses a lot on fitness, and you have the ability to connect to a Polar H10 heart rate strap if you want even better accuracy on your heart rate. And then, of course, another opportunity for some tech is actually after you work out in your recovery phase. This is actually a heated massage gun. I absolutely love this, and like I said in my previous gift guide, this is probably one of the most common gifts I give to pretty much everybody. A lot of people don't have one, and everyone I give it to absolutely loves having a massage gun. It makes you feel better if you have a stressful day, or really for what it's meant for is after a workout. A heated massage gun, it's so nice to have. So that was 10 there. There's so many more that I would love to talk about, like smart thermostat and other like smart home type things, but those are the 10 that I think are the most important for me, for feeling healthy, for feeling better every day. Leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite health tech is. Let me know what you think about what I said in this video and anything that maybe I didn't mention. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.